Welcome back to another episode of Silent Pals Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review, and today I will be reviewing the movie Oklahoma. And just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. In Oklahoma, several farmers, cowboys, and a traveling salesman compete for the romantic favors of various local ladies. So let's begin with my first pro. First up is the cast. We have Gordon McRae as Curly, then Shirley Jones as Lori, Rod Steiger as Judd, the hired hand, Charlotte Greenwood as Aunt Heller, also Lori Graham as Otto Annie, Gene Nelson as Will Parker, and Eddie Albert as Ali Hakim. This is the core cast which the film and story focuses on and revolves around. They all act their parts really well, but a few stood out to me, and they were Aunt Eller, Judd, Curly, and Lori. Charlotte as Aunt Eller was great. She feels like she's the glue that connects all the characters together. She is strong but yet soft at some times during the film and dance numbers, so she's a well-rounded character who pulls everyone together. Next, Shirley Jones. Her voice is amazing, and for this to be her debut film, it was quite something at the time, I am sure. Next would be the chemistry between Curly and Judd. The rivalry between these two characters really was shown by the actors playing them, and you saw and felt it on screen, especially during the number Poor Judd is Dead. As for Gloria playing Annie and Eddie playing Ali Hakim, they were the comedy relief. The comedy was there, but I think they overdid it in some parts, especially with Gloria's character. But overall, cast was really amazing and well-rounded. Next pro, the musical numbers, of course. This film was a play before and then turned into a film, with some onstage actors also being in the film. And with a musical, you always have songs and dance numbers. Some that I actually enjoyed were Kansas City, The Farmer and the Cowman, The Surrey with the Fringe on Top. As for the comedy numbers, I would say I Can't Say No and All or Nothing. But one that was kind of dark and had some good acting was Poor Judd is Dead. Here we have not the bad guy who is supposed to be Judd, but we have the good guy who's supposed to be Curly coming to him and telling him, you know what, you're better off dead, and then everybody's going to be mourning for you. It's kind of dark, so to me it felt like, wow, is this what they're really trying to go for? Which kind of surprised me. Some of these numbers both had singing and dancing, while others had a little bit less dancing, and like I said, the number Poor Judd is Dead had no dancing, only singing. Some had dancing and they were well choreographed, very well, but two dancers that really stood out were Jane Fisher and Lisanne Trooks. They were only supposed to be in the Kansas City number as young girls, but they ended up being used throughout the film due to their dancing skill and their acting range and their young features. I looked them up and I learned that in the film they were actually known as the Goon Girls because they have this love interest towards Will Parker. Next pro, the costume design and stage design that helped the film pop out alongside with the cinematography. If you think about it, they went through a lot to be able to film outdoors and show the big open fields and beautiful scenery of which was supposed to be Oklahoma, but when they moved onto sound stages, that's when they brought in the backdrops and had that little disconnect. But that is where the costume and stage design takes over. Here you see the transition happen, and sometimes it seems like it's seamless. You do pay attention to the backdrops, but your eyes are pulled in because of the costume and the stage design. I like the big open scenery, but I also enjoyed the small details of the costume and the sets when they had small numbers. And now onto my cons. As I said before, the songs and dance numbers were really great, but I felt that some of them were out of place. For example, the dream sequence. That one felt kind of off. Well, to begin with, we see the main character being switched for other dancers, but then as the number goes on, it keeps going and going on for a little too long. And to me, it doesn't really bring too much to the film or add anything to the story. A simple scene where Lori tells Annie that she had a bad dream, and for her to bring forth the foreshadowing towards the audience attention, that would have been enough for me, and it would have saved over 15 minutes in the film by taking out that dance number, which, to be honest, it kind of left me quite confused. We also know that Gloria Graham was not the best of singers and how the studio went around this, but yeah, her singing is funny, but then sometimes it lingers on too long and I'm just left there thinking, is this supposed to be her being clueless and therefore we're supposed to be laughing at her? I read some stories that she was hard to work with, but I feel that there could have been a resolution to that by either having some changes done or gotten her replaced. Not sure how that would have gone over with some moviegoers from back in the day, but it might have made some changes for her acting tone because her singing couldn't be helped at all. Next con, the length of the film was too long, especially for a film from the 1950s. It was close to 2.5 hours. I really think that they could have cut some things out of the film and made it shorter. Like I said, that dream sequence went on for too long and didn't go anywhere, and rather you could have cut some 15 minutes off the film. Other songs could have been reduced or trimmed and still been in the movie. I do feel that the idea that this is a play made into a movie and they want to keep everything the same as the play played a big part in the length of the film, but it's just too long for me. I can see things being taken out and the length of the film being reduced without losing much of the story in the film. So my grade for this movie is going to be a 7.5 out of 10. The fact that the movie came from a play along with some of its original cast members, it's quite amazing, but then it was a little bit too long even for me. The songs were fun to hear and the dance numbers were even more entertaining, and then there are some that you even have to question, why are they in the film at all? So that does it for this review of Oklahoma. Please join us next time where we're going to review Convoy.
You tell me, old man, what good are you?
I am the law. Don't you understand? I represent the law.
Well, piss on you and piss on your law.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.